Welcome to Overnight Troop Readiness. This course is designed for those taking girls on an overnight, whether a lock-in, a camp lodge, or staying in a hotel. It is a prerequisite to camp skills which must be taken in a classroom setting. Whether you are sleeping under the stars or camping at the Holiday Inn, this session will help you get the girls and yourself prepared for this adventure. To be prepared for this session, please open this link to the Overnight Troop Readiness handout. You are welcome to print it, but it is 37 pages. For now, have it open on your computer and switch to it if you have questions or want to review the page that is being discussed. You can request a hard copy by contacting Adult Learning at girlscoutstoday.org. Now, let's begin. We have broken down this course into 2 sessions to make it easier for you to review. At the end will be a knowledge check of the whole Overnight Troop Readiness materials. This first session will discuss progression, planning, and packing. It is necessary when taking girls outside of your normal meeting space to take things slowly when introducing a trip away. It is good for them to understand or get used to the various steps as they progress in their overnight adventure. Let's take a look at some of the ways to progress with them. First, meeting time trips, like seeing points of interest in the neighborhood. For example, a walk to a nearby garden or a short ride to the firehouse or the courthouse are the simplest and start the progression. Day trips. Daytime excursions away from the group meeting place and outside the regular meeting time. Girls might plan an all-day visit to a point of historical or natural interest, bringing their own lunch. Simple overnight trips. Indoor facility with groups living situations, starting with 1 night and building to 2 nights. Cooking is done indoors in a kitchen, and indoor bathroom facilities are readily available. Outdoor settings for simple overnights. Sleeping in tents, starting with 1 night and building to 2 or more. Cooking is done outdoors with camp stoves or campfires, and restroom facilities are usually standalone structures. Extended overnight trips. These range from 3 nights or more spent at a local facility or extended travel within the continental United States. The group may use several modes of transportation and or accommodations throughout the trip. Destinations. Nationally, GSUSA sponsored trips exclusively designed for Girl Scouts, where girls apply individually for the trip. And lastly, international trips. Girls 14 and over can travel internationally with trips from our council and also through GSUSA. See the progression? Girls need a natural progression as they plan for an outdoor overnight. Let's look at the best way to help them progress. Look out. Introduce outdoor themes. Learn outdoor manners. Leave no trace principles. Meet out. Take the meeting outside. Look, listen, feel, smell, observe the world of the outdoors. Move out. Walk around the block to see what you can see. Explore out. Walk with a purpose. There are many hikes to choose. Cook out. Plan a cookout, use a stove, and plan a meal. Sleep out. Overnight in a lodge or a cabin. Camp out. Sleep in a tent. Adventure out. Learn to plan a trip. Are the girls ready? Overnight experiences away from home can be important to the development of girls because they provide a laboratory experience in life where girls get to test themselves in new but safe circumstances, one for which they have planned and prepared. Girls grow as a result of these activities. Let's look how an overnight experience is helpful. It will enhance trust among girls as they build friendships and teamwork skills. It builds self-confidence. It will expand horizons as girls live and work in a new environment. It builds bonds between adults and girls and provides opportunities for girls to increase their skills and feel good about their accomplishments. But the first night away from home on a Girl Scout overnight is a big step. A girl needs to be emotionally ready for this experience and a desire to attend. So, girls should take small steps to get ready. Let's see how we can help them prepare for their overnight. Let's consider these guidelines for a girl's first overnight experience. She should not be afraid to be away from her home. She should be able to cope with new circumstances, such as darkness, no electricity and no nightlight, different night noises, insects, or other small creatures. She'll be sleeping in a strange bed or on a pad on the floor. She must be willing to sleep, eat, and play with all girls, not just her best friend, and she can share her space and manage with little privacy. Here are some scenarios for you to look over on the topic, Are the Girls Ready? Write down on a piece of paper what you would do. There are no wrong answers. There are a few more scenarios to review on page 5 of the Overnight Troop Readiness handout. I will read them and give you some time to think about your answer before moving on. Elizabeth is a Brownie Girl Scout who has been camping with her family but rarely speaks at troop or group meetings and doesn't like to work together on a project with other girls. Here's another scenario. Jennifer is a junior Girl Scout who uses a wheelchair. She has not been camping before, but has stayed overnight with her grandmother. Here's another scenario. Helena's parents are very concerned about letting her go away from home, but she's eager to go. You have trouble trying to explain this situation to her father because he speaks Spanish and you, the leader, speaks English. What would you do? Another scenario. A 7th grade girl joins the troop when they are halfway through the process of planning an overnight. She wants to go and be with her new friends, but has no camping skills. When starting to plan a trip, you need a destination. Will it be to a local park? Maybe a museum? A stop at a welcome center? A council site like our program center? Or long distances? And maybe bigger places? It needs to be discussed with the girls, whether it will be part of working on a badge or journey or going to a council event. Just remember to make sure there is progression. Start small and progress according to their age. The best way to know what the girls want to do is to let them brainstorm ideas. Here are some ideas they may have come up with. Some of these ideas are doable, some may not. It is up to you to guide them to a decision that is feasible financially and logistically. Then get down to details, dates, time, cost, travel directions, meals, adults going. What will they need to bring? What weather is expected? Any reservations needed? And what to wear? And any and all safety issues all need to be considered. Once they decide where they're going, find out as much as they can about the place they want to visit. Write or telephone ahead to the place, or check out websites for the local Visitors Bureau or Chamber of Commerce of that town or city they'll be visiting to obtain local maps and other tourist information. Here is an example of a caper chart. The jobs that need to be done while on an overnight, such as cooking, setting the table, and cleaning up, are all called capers and may be listed on your caper chart. The caper chart is usually drawn up before the trip so that everyone knows which jobs need to be done and who will do them. The best way to divide up the jobs is for the girls to work together as patrols, pairs, or committees. Jobs can be rotated among the patrols so that everyone has a chance to do each of the different jobs. Financing a trip is part of the troop program itself, providing the girls with a learning experience in the use of resources, the budgeting process, comparative shopping, and more. If additional money is required for the trip, you must complete and turn in a group money earning application 6 weeks prior to your money earning project date. Refer to page 11 and 12 of the Overnight Troop Readiness handout. Making a budget for your trip is important. How much will the trip cost? Think about transportation costs, food, and all the supplies you may need. Do you have enough in your troop bank account? Will the girls plan their product sales to reach that financial goal? Or will you have to charge the girls' families for the rest? Or will you need to have additional fundraising event? All these things need to be determined as you begin your planning so you can balance the expenses and your income. Check out this budget worksheet to use during your planning stages. It's a great tool for you to use. Take time to evaluate your trip as soon as you can after you return, while it's still fresh on the girls' minds. Ask them these questions to get conversation going. Make sure someone is taking notes. Then pull out the next time you begin the process of planning for the next trip. The questions to ask are, how did the trip go? What didn't work? What did we need to take but didn't? What did we take that we didn't need? How did everyone get along? Any problems? What do we do differently next time? What worked? You can find these questions in your handout, page 21. Once you decide what you're doing and where you're going and how long you'll be staying, you, as in the girls, can decide what needs to be brought along. Are you camping for an overnight? What supplies will you need for that? What meals will need to be planned and brought along? What activities will the girls be doing? Any special equipment they will need for their activities? What will the weather be like? How much to pack for clothes? All these need to be considered. Whether you are going through a drive-thru for a quick bite, take a sack lunch, or cook over a campfire, be sure to take along all the food you need. If planning to eat at your site, check out the shopping list in our handout. If going to another city and staying in a hotel, the packing list will look different. You'll still need to determine what activities they will be doing and if special dress or supplies are needed. And again, there is always the weather to deal with. Let's talk about some of these in more detail. Packing is about planning, and lists are essential to the planning process. What do you only absolutely need? Will there be room? If I bring more than that, make a list with the girls and stick with it. The younger the girls, the more detailed the list. A complete packing list can be found on page 32 and 33 of the handout. But of course, that's just a sample of everything possible. You'll have to be the judge of what they will actually need. Also, have the discussion about electronics and what will be needed or not needed. And here are some packing tips. Dressing appropriately can assure well-being in cold or hot weather. It is important to be familiar with layering, the basic principle of dressing for the outdoors. Layering involves wearing layers of garments rather than one or two heavy layers. Each layer must provide warmth and ventilation without hindering mobility. For cold weather, think the 3 W's: wicking, warmth, and wind layers. The first layer should be made of breathable material so that the body moisture is not trapped. Wicking. The second layer provides insulation or warmth. The final layer gives protection from wind or moisture. Teach the girls how to dress for the weather by dressing dolls, paper dolls, or even having relay races, adding and or taking off the layers of clothes needed for a particular season. You have finished the first of 2 videos to complete Overnight Troop Readiness. Next up is policies and behavior. Have you any questions? Please contact us at info@girlscoutstoday.org. We'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.